Hello everybody, this is Oak Tree Tarot Reader here and welcome to my pick a card video. So today I thought we'd do a question along the lines of what part of yourself do you need to reconnect with? So this is an aspect of yourself that you know is clearly you, but you're neglecting it or even actively suppressing it and rejecting this part of you. But you really need to come to terms with it and to even explore and embrace this part of yourself in order to perhaps overcome a problem you've got at the moment or to just generally feel better about yourself. So remember that this is a general reading and that not all of it will resonate completely, so just take the parts that do make sense and leave aside the parts that clearly don't fit you or the life that you lead. Now we've got option 1, option 2 and option 3. The timestamps will be in the comment section and in the description box, and if there's any other information you need along the lines of the decks and whatnot, that's all in the description box as well, so please check there. So now I want you to get in a calm, reflective state of mind. I want you to end up being open-minded to the question. So you need to take a few deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Keep your eyes closed as within each in-breath you then exhale out all of your thoughts and ideas, all your fears or your desires, everything. I want you to breathe them out. Let them go. When you feel calm and reflective and open to the answer, I want you to ask yourself the question, what part of myself do I need to reconnect with? And then trust your instincts when making your choice. Don't doubt yourself, don't overthink it, just trust your gut. Now if you need a little bit more time to do that, then please press pause, and when you've made your choice, click on the timestamp and I shall see you there for your reading. Okay, those of you that chose option 1, this is your reading. What part of you do you need to reconnect with? So we start off with once was innocent, knowledge means change. Follow me. Come, this is your invitation to enter the realm of fairy. I mean, this just clearly speaks to me of somebody that's grown up and lost touch with the wonderful young thing that thought everything was possible and had such hopes and dreams and aspirations. You know, you can't follow anybody anymore. I think if anything presents itself to you, if a job opportunity seems so fabulous, if this person that you meet seems so perfect, your first thought is not how lucky am I, but where's the catch? You know, you're always looking for where you are going to be cheated or lied to or lured in, and then finding out to your cost that things aren't the way that you thought they were going to be. I think it's just that sense of trust. You know, kids really do trust adults and other people around them to look out for them. They have to, because kids really need adults to look out for them and protect them. So I'm not saying anything happened in your childhood. It does, you know, you probably had a perfect childhood. What I'm saying is that when we're kids, we have hope. We fall in love with those stories and those films, you know, that capture our imagination and have a sense of truth about them, that the bad guys lose and the good guys win. But, you know, you've lost that, you've let go of it, you've grown up and you don't quite believe in the fairy tales anymore. But the message is to try and tap into that sense of hope, that, there are good things in life, and you might be missing out on them because you don't quite trust it. I mean, there's a truth to the saying, if it looks too good to be true, then it is. But it doesn't mean that there isn't something good there. Maybe you've got an opportunity in front of you. Maybe there's something going on, or maybe this is just generally your attitude to the world. Is that if something looks too good to be true, it means you haven't examined it properly. So look at it more. See what the flaws are, where, you know, what the truth is. Doesn't mean that it's still not great. It just means that you're seeing it in a more realistic light. But it still can be great. You know, it's like a relationship. It has its ups and its downs. It has its pluses and its minuses. Its good parts and its bad parts. But it's still a relationship, and it's still worth having. People still get married, even though there are divorces. So there's something here where you've grown up for whatever, you know, just time or a particular event's matured you. But it's caused you to lose track. I mean, this just looks to me as somebody that's grown up, really. It's just the opposite of being a kid. Once was innocent, now you're not. Knowledge has changed you. So we need to, that's the wrong card. We need to find out what's the cause of this. What's the inciting incident of causing this, that you're no longer in touch with innocence, and you're no longer in touch with being able to follow things and have that inspiration. And Ten of Swords, okay, there you go, simple. Something, a cycle has ended, something finished. It could have been the end of anything. Could have been literally a case that you grew up and you've had your milestone birthdays and the, you know, life experience. It could be a particular thing like a relationship ended, or you lost your job, or you had to move, or just one of those things that are outside of your control, and you were just the byproduct, you know, your feelings are the byproduct of this event happening. But something's absolutely happened that hurt you. It's sort of over now, it's dead in the water sort of thing. It's finished. But it caused, the ending of something caused this, I think, maturity, but maturity plus one, if I can say it that way. It stopped you believing in the good things that can happen, that there's a good opportunity in some way. There's some, you know, you're not following something. Maybe that's your instincts. So this card represents what you can do, what you can embrace, what you can explore in order to get back in touch with this whatever. The Star, that's perfect, the Star. And this is making more sense to me. So you have lost hope and faith in something. That is what you've lost. And so I think something caused that. I think you invested in something mentally, emotionally, or even financially, and it stung you, it's hurt you. You possibly trusted in something or someone that time has proven that you shouldn't have. So now you're thinking, well, what's the point in trusting in anyone when my judgment wasn't very good? But the message is that you can trust in your judgment. It's if you have, let's say, for instance, if someone's been conned, you know, there's all this, oh, how could you be so silly to be taken in by this person? But it's never the victim's fault. It's never the person who's been conned. It's not their fault. It's the con man, the con woman's fault. They're the bad guys. You know, there's no point blaming somebody for trusting where, you know, we all have to trust. If we don't have that initial trust that this other person or this other investment or this other job is going to work out, we wouldn't do anything. So whatever this situation is, don't allow the lesson that you've learned stop you from progressing any further. Because you do need to place your trust and your faith in some new things in order to move forward in life. It's like, you know, oh, I ended up with a bad job and now I've got this better job, so I'm going to stay in it for the rest of my life, because the last time I tried to get a promotion, it stunk, the business went bust, it turned, it was all a big con. Or I tried a relationship once, it didn't end well, so I'm not going to try a relationship ever again. No, you've got to move forward with hope and aspirations. The star card follows the tower card, which this would be your tower moment, where the bolt of lightning hit your life, your tower, and knocked down and caused all the things that were actually not stable in your life to fall, and you were left with the foundations. With the star card, you take the foundations that you've got, you pick yourself up and the pieces that you can find from the rubble of the crashed tower, and rebuild yourself, and in a new and better version of what went before. And the star symbolises the vulnerability of starting anew. But it's a vulnerability without fear. Normally the star card, she's completely naked and exposed to the starlight. This is to reflect our actual vulnerability in starting anew, that we actually are going out without any knowledge of what's going to happen, but with hope that everything will work out fine. And so you need to start thinking, not waiting for the next time that you're going to get hurt, but to move forward with the expectation that the next thing that's going to happen is wonderful. And if it is a stinker of a thing that comes forward, you'll be fine, because you were fine last time. You've grown from it, and you've got to stop yourself from falling into the negativity of allowing it to continue to destroy your life. It's almost like you've had your moment of destruction, but you're completely failing to pick up the pieces and move forward. You're just stuck standing amongst the rubble of the tower. And so that's the message. You can reconnect with whatever you wanted in your youth that hasn't materialized for whatever reason. You can carry on hoping for it and moving forward with it with joy and hope and positivity. So I've got one more card for you, which represents like a final message, really. Forgiveness. So you either need to forgive yourself for being young and unworldly, and then experiencing the world which has now made you worldly. You need to forgive that naivety, or you need to forgive someone else, either for the hurt that they've caused you, the damage that they've caused you, or for basically teaching you the painful life lesson. But there needs to be forgiveness, and forgiveness actually is very much a selfish act. When you forgive someone, it's not for their benefit, it's for your own. You forgive them because otherwise you can't let go of it and move on. And a lot of you, if not all of you, are stuck in a position of clinging to the hurt and the pain and the betrayal and the treachery or whatever. You're clinging to the end of it. Instead of letting it go and moving on, you're clinging to the Ten of Swords moment, almost the Tower moment. Instead of accepting it and accepting that you once were innocent, and that you can, it's not about being childish, but it's about having that youthful attitude of things will be better and you're a survivor and that you can move forward, and that you can follow invitations, you can find invitations into new things or invitations with new people. Just seems that you're a bit blocked off in some aspect of your life, and the message is to open yourself up again. So those of you that chose option 1, that's your reading. I hope that it's helped you. Please let me know in the comments section if it's resonated and if it has helped you in any way. If you do want to book a private reading, you can check the description box. All the information you need is there. But that's your reading, so please take very good care of yourself. I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Right, those of you that chose option 2, this is your reading. What do you need to reconnect with? So we start off with Story Keeper. Tell your story, legacy, write your wisdom. Her special place. Find your own safe space inside and out. So what you're not connecting with is your own creativity. It's got Story Keeper, and it focuses obviously on writing. This is sort of the card of the writer. But I'm going to extend it because it's so generalised as a reading that if your thing is painting or music even, or any creativity that even works outside of writing, I'm going to include that in for you as well. You're just not being creative. You're not telling your story. You're not expressing yourself. And this is your true self. So, you know, if it's not an active art, one of the arts, whatever way that deep down you know is your creative expression, maybe you like performing, you know, even if it's, you know, your amateur dramatics group or something, you need to be doing that. And you need to re-tap into that that expression of your knowledge of your story. So yeah, whatever it is, you're not doing it and you need to tap into that. And I think a reason why you're not doing that is because you're not going into yourself and having, you know, sort of self-analysis, self-knowledge, self-exploration. You're probably not having enough time to just go off and think, you know, just to process information and let itself work its way through your mind. You are not allowing to have privacy of thought so that you can then express. You know, you might be in a phase where you're like, no, I don't want to think about that, and stopping yourself. But you do need to think about things. You do need to have your privacy and have your own private thoughts where you can explore yourself as a creative person, but also as a person. So this is very much about your own internal world and logic and your own creativity. I feel a lot of you probably are writers that want to, you know, write novels, write blogs or whatever, but you've not been dedicating enough time to it recently, and you need to spend a bit more time doing that. So what's the origin? Why has this happened that you're not really being creative enough? Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so I see this as a lot of you are mums or dads, because I know some men watch my videos, but it's mainly women. I think the root of this is parenthood, motherhood, that you are concerned with the domestic concerns of running a household. So even if you haven't got kids, maybe, you know, you've just moved in with someone, or, you know, actually even as a single person, it's domestic concerns really when I think of the Queen of Pentacles. She's nurturing, she's warm, she's practical, she's sensible. She does, you know, she cooks the meals and she does the cleaning. Even if she has a bit of help, she does most of it. You know, she's literally climbing the ladder to go and pick the crop. So there's something domestic in your life that is affecting your ability to create. And that speaks to me of when a woman has a child and suddenly she finds she's got no time to do anything apart from take care of the child or the kids. Dad goes out to work, comes back, and she's been stuck in the house most of the day, or, you know, whatever. And you just don't have time to yourself. You spend the day with the kids and then the evening with your partner. Where's time for mom? So this is the root of it. Obviously, for some of you, you're going to struggle for this bit of time. And my answer would always be is talk to your partner and explain how you need this time to, you know, even if it's half an hour a day or an hour a week, whatever's negotiable between the two of you, that you need a bit of time for you to go through this and to write and create and to have your time alone. There's nothing wrong with that. And for others of you, there's going to be a recognition that at times it's going to be impossible and that your focus will be your family and won't be yourself. But it's all right to compromise on short occasions, for short duration of time, but don't allow this compromise to become the state of being for your family. Your family needs to understand that you must have time for yourself. where you have privacy without interruption. They're not allowed to come and interrupt you. You have to have that time to do your own thing. It's a boundary. They'll have their boundaries, you must have yours, and yours, I believe, is to do with creation. So what action can you take? What advice is to give in order for you to reconnect with this part of yourself that's been neglected? The moon. Ooh. So it's about your emotions. So for some of you, you've gone so far into the practical side that you're neglecting your emotional side. So even if you do actually get time to invest for yourself, you're so sort of overwhelmed with the practicality of what you've got to get done. So instead of stopping to think, well, what's my character going to do next? Or what did I put in the plot line to happen next? You're thinking, oh, shall I put some laundry in the machine because the weather's good, I could get it out on the washing line and get it dry. And actually, if I just clean out the fridge now, it needs doing, I shouldn't neglect it. You're sort of allowing things to dominate your mind in terms of practicality, and you're not exploring your emotions. And art is very connected to emotions, not exclusively, because a lot of people, like particularly writers, will write because of what's going on inside their brain, sort of literally, sort of their logical interpretation of events. But there are also an awful lot of writers that write from their feelings emotionally. They sort of intellectualize their emotions, which is a perfectly fine way of understanding why you feel things. Everybody's got their own way of doing that. So yeah, you need to touch into your emotions. So I'm going to say also touching into your subconscious, because the moon reflects our subconscious, the part of ourselves that has that dream world at night. When you dream, and in your dream, when you're asleep, it all makes sense. It's all logical. It all makes perfect sense. And then you wake up and you realise how distorted and surreal dreams are, how distorted they are, how they don't make sense when your logical brain kicks in, when your conscious kicks in. So our subconscious is a deep well of creativity. It's where we come up with vivid imagery and blunt, raw imagery that our conscious brain must then refine and dismantle in order to remove its savagery. So you need to contact your subconscious and the part of you that's quietly filing away information for you to process when you are free to have the brain power to do it when you're asleep. And I think it would jumpstart your creativity when you have that time to be in your subconscious. They're saying the same thing, these two cards. That you will stop being distracted by practicality in some way, whatever that represents, and you will be able to get back into your art, into that part of yourself that's only you. No one will ever know what's going on in your subconscious apart from you. Even if you created the most amazing pieces of art due to it, we're only ever going to see a filter of it from your consciousness, and then it will be filtered through our consciousness. Yeah, this is all to do with your creativity. So this is a final card that reflects just a final piece of advice for you. There's something better. Ooh, now that message doesn't necessarily fit with what I've said. So for some of you, there's something better. So maybe if you're thinking about there's a way forward with this, there might be a better way, or there's just a better way of living for you now. So if you're thinking, oh no, I can carry on for a bit, there's something better for you. You can balance your own need for creativity and your own privacy with the demands of your practical life. So yeah, there's something better for you, and you should aspire to find it. So those of you that chose option 2, that's your reading, please let me know in the comments section whether it made any sort of sense, whether it resonates with you. I'm going to leave you with that. If you want to book a private reading with me, you can. Just have a look in the description box and then send me an email. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye. Okay, those of you that chose option 3, this is your reading. What is it about yourself that you need to reconnect with? So we start off with fairy tales, letting go, detachment, moving on. Into the woods, stranger in a strange land, new experiences, feeling uncertain, and transition zone. So what you need to reconnect with is you're clinging onto things. You need to learn to let go. So you're stifled, you're not taking chances, you're not doing new things, you're going to the same restaurants, you're going to the same days out, some of you are just going to work, coming home, going to work, coming home. You're not experiencing anything new. Are you reading new books, seeing different films, playing different games? Or are you going to the old faithful things? Are you clinging on to a person that deep down you know is no good for you, is holding you back, it is not actually that good? Or are you clinging to an old relationship that's actually over, and that's you, and that's your partner that's moved on, and you're the one that feels that you're stuck in quicksand and can't move forward anywhere? It's like you're not connecting to going to and doing new things. You're really not. There's just no new experiences. And you need to reconnect with that, because you're in danger, or your life has already become stagnant. Now, some of you are possibly thinking, but I travel a lot. I'm always on the go. I'm always meeting new people. There's something about you that's stuck. And this is the thing. Lots of people assume that because there's one part of your life that's moving very rapidly forward, that your entire life is moving forward, but that's not the case. You could be getting promotion after promotion after promotion, getting bonus, getting new job, all the rest of it. You could just be progressing. But there's nothing happening in your love life because you're putting all your investment in your career. Sometimes you can be putting all of your investment in your love life, in finding new partners, in being on the dating scene, of picking yourself back up when you find out that person that seems so great actually isn't that well suited to you. And you're neglecting your career. You're stuck in the same dead-end job that you have for years, whereas you're really not exploring all of your potentials. So there's something in you where you're not moving forward, and you're not taking risks, and you're not moving past something. And that's what you need to reconnect with. That feeling of being able to let go of things, to let go of the things that you don't need anymore, the things that you've outgrown, that don't serve you anymore. And moving into this, not being afraid to move into new places, of transitioning from one thing to another, to feeling comfortable with uncertainty, because uncertainty is a fact of life. It's a fact of everybody's life. My life is uncertain. Who knows what's going to bring the future? Hopefully I'll have wonderful things in the future. I will have the odd unwelcome, unpleasant thing in my life as well, and I'll deal with them as they come. But I'm also welcoming of the wonderful things and understanding that the bad things will come as well. But I feel that for a lot of you that have chosen number 3, that you're not welcoming to anything just because in case you don't like change. So you need to reconnect with an adventurous part of yourself. Take baby steps if it's a bit intimidating. You don't have to jump in feet first into the deep end. You can give yourself small steps and chip away at it over a longer period of time, so it's easier for you and more comfortable. So this card represents what's caused all this, why you are in this phase of clinging on to things and not letting anything new or unfamiliar enter your life. Oh, strength. So I wonder, the reason you're doing this is because you're actively controlling maybe the desire to be a bit more adventurous. So maybe there is something that you want to do, but maybe you're thinking it's a bad idea, or that it doesn't match with the way you're living your life at the moment, maybe. But basically it's you that's stopping you from being more adventurous, and in a sense you've got to let go of something, but you're the clinger. This is the thing you should be letting go of, and this is you. You've got the dragon in a headlock. No, I'm going to cling on to. So this is something, I think it's limiting beliefs. And that can be springing from anywhere. It could be, I'm unattractive. I'm not a brilliant person, or nobody's going to value me for me. They're only going to value me for, I don't fit in with what's seen as attractive, or I don't fit in. I have different ideas and opinions and interests than other people, and I can't seem to fit in with everyone else. And of course I would say find courage in being different, because you can't help who you are, but you can help being a nice person. And as long as you're a nice person that's open, welcoming, and generally non-judgmental, you will find nice people. And it might take a few misses before you get a hit, but nice people like other nice people. They don't want to hang around with horrible people. Do you know what I mean? So there's something about you that you're clinging on to this. You're clinging on to something that doesn't serve you anymore, and it's time to move forward and be a bit brave about something and taking a risk. You don't want to feel uncertain. You don't want to feel self-conscious, I feel. You don't want to feel that you don't know what's going to happen next. But we all have to be comfortable with that uncertainty, and that we can't control everything. There are many things in our lives that are completely uncontrollable, especially other people. Can't control other people. Always ends up in failure. So yeah, you're really controlling yourself because of this sense of desire to control that around you, because of that feeling of uncertainty and anxiety over it. And it's time to let that go, because it's not helping you at all in life. So what can you do? What action can you take? What can you explore in order to move forward away from this strength energy and towards being a bit more adventurous and experimental, and a bit more letting go, and a bit more, willing to move on? Page of Cups. So this is all down to your feelings. So I think that a lot of you that chose this number 3 are very sensitive people. You feel things very deeply. Quite, even if people might be surprised to find out that you're quite sensitive and emotional. And so you need to embrace that in yourself. It's fine to be sensitive and emotional, to cry at films. Don't be afraid of that kind of sensitivity if that's you. I think there's a sense of emotional vulnerability here, that a lot of you choosing number 3 do not want to be emotionally vulnerable. And I understand, because being emotionally vulnerable is very, very frightening, because of all the reasons we've discussed. It's much easier to be the strength card, where you control it by not allowing yourself to feel anything, or to be at risk from anyone that might hurt you. But it's time to now move past that and to be emotionally vulnerable, because there's no escaping who you really are. But also, as I said, there's always uncertainty in life, and if you don't take the chance with your own emotions, you won't ever really be free. You know, we've got to be able to express ourselves emotionally and to feel things and be emotional and be sensitive and artistic and to declare our love as well for things and for people. You know, and it's scary to say, oh, I love this or I love something, because it's a very fragile thing. Something could come along and destroy it or take it away. But you can't live your life in fear, and it's impossible to live our lives without risk. Some people are very adept at avoiding most risks, but sooner or later risk does come and find them. So yeah, you've got to, it's something to do with your emotions and your feelings and your sensitivity, that you're really controlling very fiercely, I sense, very fiercely. But it's time to be a bit brave and accept that yes, life and love does include risk and potential pain. So here's a piece of advice for you, a final card. Listen to your intuition. I think that's always a good piece of advice. I always start off my readings with listen to your intuition. So your gut is telling you something. So even if what I've said is not completely accurate, your guts were telling you something during this reading of how it resonates with you, how it makes sense to your life. So listen to that intuition. Or listen to your intuition generally. If you know that there's something going on in your life that's not helping you and there's something that you could be doing, do that. Listen to your intuition. Balance it with, your knowledge. I mean, if your intuition is at complete odds with your factual knowledge of something, then obviously, you have to examine it further. But if your intuition lines up with what the facts that you know, then you'll be okay. That's a nice little reading. So those of you that chose option 3, that's your reading. I enjoyed giving it. I hope you enjoyed listening to it. Please let me know in the comments section if that resonates with you, if it makes any sort of sense. But otherwise, I'm going to leave you with it. If you want to book a private reading with me, then check the description box, give it a read, and then send me an email. But I wish you all the best of luck for the future. Please take very good care of yourself. Thank you very much for listening to me, and goodbye.